Oh my goodness. WWE had the chance to do something amazing. They had the chance to rewrite history. They had a chance to make a new guy, the guy. And they chose the worst possible candidate. They had a chance to change it up. They had a chance to get some goodwill out of the controversial WWE Crown Jewel show, and they did absolutely none of that. What's up, folks? My name is Fred Ricciani. This is TSC with a breaking news live update. Now, you may be wondering why the hell I'm out here and recapping Crown Jewel now. You might be saying, Fred, wait a minute, the show's not over yet. Wait, we still have the World Cup final. Fred, why are you here recapping Crown Jewel when Crown Jewel's not over? Because, as far as I'm concerned, okay, I'm in public here, I don't want to cuss, I don't want to scream too much. As far as I'm concerned, Crown Jewel is over. My infatuation with WWE is over, okay? So let me recap this Universal title match for y'all, okay? Actually, you know what? Let's go back to the beginning, okay? This is a night, or I guess a day if you're an East Coast like me, where we saw Kurt Angle in a basic wrestling match, the legend Kurt Angle, lose to Dolph Ziggler clean in the middle of the ring. This is a WWE pay-per-view where we saw Rey Mysterio win in a pretty good match against Randy Orton, only to get destroyed by Randy Orton afterwards, causing him to lose to The Miz. This is a WWE pay-per-view where we just, are coming off the heels of a Dean Ambrose heel turn, which is very controversial. I personally didn't like it, but whatever. And we saw Seth Rollins, with no interference from Dean Ambrose, but some interference from Drew McIntyre, cause Rollins to lose to Dolph Ziggler, making our tournament final Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. And one would say, well, Drew McIntyre interfered. It's okay. No, it's not okay, because Seth has wrestled Dolph Ziggler enough times to know Drew McIntyre is going to be sneaking up behind him, and he was just pushed off the top rope. Ziggler hit a super kick, 1, 2, 3. We got to the AJ Styles Samoa Joe match, by far the best match on the show, but it was anticlimactic, and freaking Joe just lost via phenomenal forearm. There was no drama. It was just AJ Styles set it up, got the win. That was it. Samoa Joe, dead and gone as a main eventer. We had this past week on SmackDown, Daniel Bryan refusing to go to Saudi Arabia privately, and he had the WWE title match on Tuesday night, lost to AJ Styles, tapped down the middle of the ring. So I'm thinking, you know what? We're guaranteed to get a brand new Universal Champion. Brock Lesnar's probably prepping for either John Jones or Daniel Cormier. Of course, Daniel Cormier is fighting this Saturday night right here in New York City against Derek Lewis for the heavyweight title of the UFC. We got in December, John Bones Jones taking on Alexander Gustafsson for a light heavyweight title. One of these guys is probably next in line for Brock Lesnar's UFC comeback. So what happens? Brock Lesnar comes in. Baron Corbin comes in. We had, of course, Braun Strowman come in. So it's about to be Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar. Baron Corbin hits Braun Strowman with the Universal title, which I guess, is a setup from last week where Braun Strowman attacked Corbin. And then Brock Lesnar hit him with not one, not two, but 3 F5s. Strowman still kicked out. Hit him with the F5 outside of the ring. I think Strowman still kicked out. Or no, he beat the count. I don't know if he kicked out again. And then Brock hit a fifth F5. Or actually, Brock Lesnar hit a 5th F5 to pin Braun Strowman to retain the Universal Championship. I'm at a loss for words. I apologize. I'm normally a lot more prepared even when I'm doing these video blogs, but I'm just so pissed. I'm just so pissed. This is so stupid. This is just so stupid. And I get it, okay? There is the mainstream appeal of Brock Lesnar, the Universal Champion, going into the octagon against Daniel Cormier, the UFC champion. I get it. I get it. At the same time, pro wrestling's predetermined. Everybody knows that it's predetermined. Everybody knows that it's predetermined, okay? If you want to protect Brock Lesnar in a loss, guess what? Don't book him in the match. And if you want Brock Lesnar to lose, or you want to put over Braun Strowman while protecting Brock Lesnar, how about this? How about have Drew McIntyre interfere like he's been doing against Strowman, have him accidentally clock Brock Lesnar, and have Braun pin him, kind of like he did at SummerSlam. But instead, you do this. And look, I get it from a mainstream perspective to some extent. But I'm just so sick and tired and annoyed and pissed off that they keep not pulling the trigger when the time is right. Roman Reigns, yeah, knock on wood, he comes back, he'll be a gigantic star, he will be the guy. But before that announcement, everything else, I mean, he was a guy that was a big star, but had a lot of potential left on the table because they didn't know when to pull the trigger. They pulled it too soon, and, you know, the rest is history there. Braun Strowman, that guy should have beaten Brock Lesnar last September, last year, over a year ago. And here we are, like 13 months later, the guy is still not a world champion. Which means we're going to have to wait in WWE land for Braun Strowman to eventually win the title. What's going to happen? He's going to win the Royal Rumble after winning the greatest Royal Rumble, and then he's going to win the world title at WrestleMania. What's the point? At this point, what's the point? What's the point? And Samoa Joe, a great heel. AJ's been champion for a year, but his title reign's been marred by giving heels moral victories. WWE's the only wrestling promotion that gives the heels moral victories. So what's going to happen now? It's AJ versus Brock. What happens? Is Brock going to beat him at Survivor Series now? Again? Because you know they're not going to put over a SmackDown guy. And if AJ is going to beat him, what's the point of having Brock beat Strowman? And then you have Daniel Bryan out of the damn main event, tapping out clean in the middle of the ring in the opening match on freaking SmackDown. But don't worry, guys. We still got a couple more matches. I think the Miz and Dolph Ziggler World Cup final to determine the best of the world is still going on. And we get DX versus the Brothers of Destruction in the main event. I'm sorry. My life has gotten so much better watching less WWE. I still enjoy my favorites. I still can enjoy a good match. I love WWE Evolution. And this WWE Evolution represented the absolute best of WWE. This represents the absolute worst. God bless Braun Strowman, but him as a main eventer, a real difference maker, that ship has officially sailed. Let's get some of the comments here before I head out. Big Mike says, Broad is buried. Noe Lar says, I'm going to take over War Games. Hey, you're going to have a lot more fun than watching this show. Man. I don't know, man. Just a lot of feedback similar to mine, which is, this sucks. From a mainstream perspective, I get it. I get it. Okay, UFC champion versus Universal champion, I get it. But it still sucks. If you enjoyed this update, folks, please like, share, take care. I'm going to go back to work because I wasted my time watching this show. Until next time, everybody, as always, enjoy the matches and don't forget to subscribe. There goes the Universal title, cursed and all, still being held hostage.